in the Department of Energy, Robert Maake. Good evening, Mr. Maake. Thank you very much for your time. Well, you have always maintained that this matter was beyond your control. What's different now, this time around?
Good evening, and good evening to the viewers at home. I think what we said was some of the international factors, which is mainly the crude oil price and the rand-dollar exchange rate, were beyond the control of government. However, in this case, government decided to intervene with temporary intervention measures, which is a once-off measure to ensure that we provide some relief to consumers. What will then happen is the differential in terms of the monies that the oil company were supposed to get will then be recovered in line with the regulations.
Where is that money? Well, someone has to pay at some point. So how are you going to, where is the money going to come from?
As I'm indicating to you, I'm saying the current money that the oil companies are not going to recover because the price will remain the same, is going to, the government is committed to making sure that they do recover it in line with the regulation. So what will then happen is, in future fuel price adjustment, that's when we can also look at how we make sure they recover their money without necessarily impacting on fuel price hikes.
This is like a short-term measure. What happens in the future? We would still not have resolved the problem.
That's correct. Basically, what is happening is the department is putting up, is developing a medium to long-term intervention to look at how to mitigate fuel price hikes in the future. You might also be aware that the presidential report was also completed. We are still waiting for the outcome of that. But the Minister, Jeff Radebe, has indicated that by end of September, we'll get an announcement or report in as far as the way forward is concerned.
But what could those medium to long-term measures entail? Can you give us some examples? What are the possibilities?
Well, it's difficult for me to mention anything at this stage because I'll be preempting the outcome of that discussion. I'll rather urge motorists and everybody else to await for the outcome of that discussion.
Even by way of example, what do other jurisdictions do, for example?
Look, there are a lot of considerations, but as I'm saying to you, there could be a stabilization fund, a smoothing fund, there could be consideration from Treasury and so on. So it's difficult for me to mention for a fact that this is what is going to happen.
You mean you can't even pose possibilities? I mean, I'm finding that rather incredible.
Sorry, I didn't get your question, but
I'm saying I'm finding it rather incredible that you can't even pose possibilities that we could be looking at this, which may have this particular impact or effect, or we could be looking at another, or even permutations for that matter.
No, I think what we need to understand is I came here to clarify on the intervention measures that the minister has approved. Anything to do with future, what could happen in the future and so on, I'm not going to say anything until there's approval on the way forward.
Okay, that's why we're going to leave it. Thank you very much, Mr. Maake, who is from the Department of Energy.